Imagine walking into a quiet zoo enclosure at dawn. The air is still and the ground is undisturbed. But something feels wrong. Within minutes, keepers make a chilling discovery. One blackbuck lies motionless, then another, and by the fourth day, 31 of India's most protected antelopes are dead. This isn't just a wildlife story. This is a wake-up call for India's conservation system, a test of our constitutional duties, and a stark reminder that even a Schedule 1 species protected as fiercely as tigers can fall through the cracks. So hello and welcome. You're watching Next IAS English. Today, we are not just analyzing an incident, we are decoding a systemic failure, exploring legal, ecological and administrative blind spots, and understanding why this one episode matters for every UPSC aspirant studying governance, ecology, ethics and policy. So let's deep dive into what really happened and why it matters. Firstly, let's talk about the massive blackbuck die-off in Karnataka. Let's understand the context of the whole situation. So 31 blackbucks died within 4 days in Kittur Rani Chinnamma mini zoo in Karnataka. Now, the cause which has been suspected is the bacterial infection. There has been some sort of bacterial infection which happened to the one blackbuck, passed it on to others, and the lab confirmation is still pending. There is no lab confirmation yet please understand it is a suspected. So it has been suspected that this has happened. State Forest Minister ordered a high-level investigation. Now a high-level investigation is going on, and it shows the failures of deeper systemic issues. Moving forward, let's try to understand what happened within the span of 4 days. So 4-day timeline of mortality, let's understand that. Day 1, 8 deaths were reported, 8 blackbuck died. In next 3 days, more 20 blackbucks in addition to that died. Then few of the blackbucks were taken to nearby rescue center where 3 of them died, and then that is total mortality was 31 blackbucks. So we lost 31 blackbucks in 4 days. It is very important to understand why these blackbucks are so important for our nature. See, there have been conservation efforts of blackbucks and they've been kept in Schedule 1 species, but blackbuck is one of India's most iconic antelopes. The male have spiral horns and a striking black and white coloration, while females are fawn colored and hornless. And that is one thing that makes them, very important. They thrive in grasslands and neglected ecosystems as well. But let's understand their scientific profile as well. So blackbuck, which is species profile, and the scientific name is Antelope cervicapra. So that's their scientific name. I want you to remember it for prelims purpose as well, because in prelims it is very important to understand little pointers to remember them. And let's understand their family. Which family do they come from? So they come from Bovidae family, and they are antelope, not a deer. A lot of people confuse them with deer because in Hindi we often call them Kala Hiran, but they are not a deer, they are antelopes, okay? And then their native range is, now in which regions in the world they are usually found? They are found in India and Nepal. Okay, now their habitat. Now let's understand what sort of habitat do they require for living. That is open grasslands, semi-arid plains and savannas. So these are the kind of habitat they require for their survival. Moving forward, let's talk about distribution of blackbuck in India. Now let's see in which areas, in which states do blackbucks exist and what is the distribution. So the blackbucks have been found in Rajasthan, they have been found in Gujarat, they have been found in Haryana, Punjab, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. And where has this incident happened? Please keep in mind this has happened in Karnataka. Now these blackbucks have actually gone extinct in Bangladesh, and they have a very small population in Nepal. So the neighboring countries as well, we don't have too many blackbucks in the world. So in Bangladesh they are already extinct, and in Nepal there is a very small population of them. Moving forward, let's talk about legal and conservation status of these black bucks. So what are the legal and conservation status of this black buck? Let's understand. First, they are protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which I have already told you that they are kept under Schedule 1. Then strictest legal protection has been given to them, which is 3 to 7 years imprisonment for hunting. So if you hunt them or poach them, then you will get an imprisonment of 3 to 7 years, which is one of the strictest punishments given when it comes to protecting species. Now, IUCN global status, let's understand. The IUCN global status is least concern, and Nepal regional status is endangered, because I've already told you that they are very few in number in Nepal and they have extinct in Bangladesh and due to low population. See, yeah. Now listed in CITES Appendix 3 India, and they have been listed in CITES Appendix 3 in India. Moving forward, let's talk about the constitutional protection and articles. Now let's understand what these articles are and what is the constitutional protection. So under Article 48A, states shall protect wildlife and environment, that's what the article says. And under Article 51AG, fundamental duty of citizens to protect wildlife. So under both these articles, it is very important to save our wildlife and protect our wildlife. I want you to remember these articles. I am adding these slides, these extra slides, so that you understand and remember all these pointers when you are giving the examination, and this is such a nice value addition. So for example, if a question comes on wildlife, you can always quote these two articles in the examination in your answers. Moving forward, let's talk about the biological and ecological features. Now let us understand the biological and ecological features of these black bucks. So medium-sized antelope with high sexual dimorphism, then male have dark brown black upper body. So I think we have already seen many pictures of black bucks. You have seen two different kind of black bucks in the pictures. Males are always have dark brown body and black upper body, white underparts and spiral horns. So these spiral horns, as you can see, males usually have it, and females have light brown body, usually hornless. They do not have these horns and they have light brown body. Then their running speed is up to 80 km per hour, more than 80 km per hour, and the social groups range from 5 to 50 individuals. So that's their social group, that's the amount of people they can, they travel with or something like that, okay? Moving forward, let's talk about possible veterinary causes of mortality. Now let's understand what are the possible causes, what could have happened. As we've already discussed, bacterial infections could have happened. Bacterial infections such as pasteurellosis, hemorrhagic septicemia or enterotoxemia are common in captive antelope. So these are some very common in bacterial infections that could have happened, that could have resulted in all this happening. And contaminated water could be one of the biggest issue. Contaminated water or feed, maybe they might have eaten something which was contaminated, or sudden climatic shifts can trigger the outbreaks. So climate shifts can also trigger the outbreaks of this. So that can also be one of the possible reasons. See, I am telling it very carefully that these are the possible reasons. These are not the exact reasons. The exact reasons are yet to come. There is an ongoing investigation in this regard, and exact pathogen in this case is under laboratory identification. See, the exact thing is still under laboratory identification. So whenever we'll get to know the exact cause, we'll tell you about it. Moving forward, let's talk about government response and investigation. Now let us understand what is the government's response and what are the investigations that have been going on. So high level inquiry has been initiated by the Karnataka Forest Department, of course, and then samples have been sent to pathological and bacterial cultural testing. Samples have also been sent to recognize what sort of bacterial, if it is a bacterial cultural infection or something else. Then veterinary teams have been deployed for treatment and monitoring. So veterinary teams have also been deployed for the treatment if there are any black bucks who are still there, and so for their treatment and their monitoring also teams have been sent. Then biosecurity and enclosure hygiene strengthened immediately, and the biosecurity and hygiene has been strengthened. So whatever they are eating, whichever water they are drinking, everything has been now, it has been strengthened, their hygiene has been strengthened now. Moving forward, let's talk about the ecological and policy significance. Now let us understand what is the ecological and policy significance. So this highlights the vulnerability of captive wildlife to rapid disease spread. Shows urgent need for stronger zoo level biosecurity measures, which I've already explained that these things are already happening in the zoo now, and supports adoption of One Health approach in wildlife management. Lastly, critical for maintaining India's 90% global blackbuck population. Now this is very important. All these things should be done so that the 90% of global population of blackbucks which is in India, it is very important to safeguard that population. Moving forward, let's talk about the UPSC exam relevance now. Let us understand why this is relevant for your examination. So we've already discussed Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and Schedule 1 species. Again, it becomes very important for examination perspective. Then IUCN and CITES classification again becomes very relevant for prelims perspective. Then constitutional articles 48A and 51AG. I've already told you that these are important articles. Species identification, blackbuck features, habitat, distribution, all of it becomes important for prelims perspective. And basic ecology like grasslands, zoonotic diseases and ungulates, all these again becomes very important for prelims perspective. Moving forward to the mains perspective. Again, it is very important for GS paper 2, which is governance and policy. So constitutional duties related to wildlife, role of statutory bodies like CZA. Then GS paper 3 also, it becomes very important for environment and ecology. The topics which are again very important for mains perspective are biodiversity classification, wildlife health management, human wildlife conflict in grasslands, disease surveillance in captive wildlife, zoo governance and policy reforms. And in GS paper 4 also, it is very important for ethics and case studies, ethical responsibility in managing captive animals and state accountability in wildlife protection. So this is the examination relevance, and it is a very important topic. I want you to know all these keywords and please do a thorough research on these keywords. So I think we have already covered majority portion of this topic. We have covered different articles, we have covered everything about the species, and now comes a question for you. What is the IUCN status of blackbucks? I want you to tell me that in the comment section below. We have already discussed that in the video, and that is it for today. I will see you in another deep dive video. Until then, bye bye, take care.